Hi everyone, I'm just going to do a quick audio check now. Any feedback is appreciated. Thanks to Mudlark and Some Girls and Random Games who've tuned in. I'll be starting shortly. Give me any feedback on the audio. Thanks guys, see you in a minute. Hi everyone, right, it sounds like the audio is kind of bearable. Normally, notoriously bad sound I generally get on this live stream. Hello to a few people in the live chat that's popped in so far. We had Some Girls earlier on came in and said hello, and mentioning a video she put up. I'm going to talk about that and cover that in a little bit. Mudlark popped in and then said he had to leave again. And Random Games, Michelle from Oz. Hi Michelle, thanks for joining. Always appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, going to be looking at a couple of things before. This is an Open Lines edition where I invite you guys to call in and say hello. Hello, Jackie Sharp. Hi, thanks for joining the stream. So yeah, it's open. If anyone wants to pop in and say hello, they're always welcome. Talk about how they're getting on. Talk about any news stories they've come across. Here in the UK, massively dominated by a particular funeral, which I avoided at all costs. But yeah, at least that's pushed another particular news story a little way down the list. Nick GB, hi, thanks for tuning in. Just confirming, you guys, the audio sounds all right. I do have headphones I can plug in if it isn't great. Right, I'm going to share the address from which you guys can join the live stream if you wish shortly. First of all, I just want to mention at the end of last week's, I did a quiz last week, and we ended up it was all based on Prince Philip, and I went on to the subject of Lord, I think it's Louis Mountbatten, and what relationship he was to Prince Philip. So I'm going to have a quick look at a story I saw. I'll just share my screen a minute, bear with me. Okay. Oh, that's not it. Sinn Féin, this is it. Okay, yeah, I was certain that Lord Mountbatten, who was assassinated supposedly by the IRA, was a relation of Prince Philip, people were talking about some of the shady relationships, some of the people that are related to the royal family and what company they keep. And I was certain that Lord Mountbatten was one of them and was part of Prince Philip's family. So, I came across this story. Apparently, Sinn Féin leader apologises for the IRA's murder of Lord Mountbatten. By all accounts, Mountbatten was allegedly an abuser of, well, probably lots of people, but he was specifically known to have. Let's be back in 1 second. Louis Mountbatten was supposedly a paedophile. He liked young boys, but this story clears up what relation he was to Prince Philip. Sinn Féin leader Mary Lou MacDonald has apologised for the IRA's assassination of Lord Mountbatten following the funeral of the Duke of Edinburgh. Mrs. MacDonald described the murder of Lord Mountbatten, who died along with 2 members of his family and a Fermanagh teenager. They were on a boat apparently, and he'd taken, I think it was more than one teenager, on a fishing boat in County Sligo, Ireland in 1979 as heartbreaking. Her comments came a day after a funeral service was held for Philip, Lord Mountbatten's nephew, at Windsor Castle. So Prince Philip was Louis Mountbatten's nephew. When asked on Radio Times whether she would apologise to the Prince of Wales over the assassination, which her predecessor Gerry Adams reportedly refused to do, she said the army and the armed forces associated with Prince Charles carried out many, many violent actions on our island. Absolutely they did. She added, and I can of course say I'm sorry that happened. Of course, that is heartbreaking, and my job, and I think Prince Charles and others would absolutely appreciate this. And I believe it is all of our jobs to ensure that no other child, no other family, irrespective of who they are, face the kind of trauma and heartbreak that was all too common on all sides of the island and beyond. I'm happy to reiterate that at the time and on the weekend that your Queen buried her beloved husband. Right, how did they get onto this? She relayed how Charles had written a lovely letter last year after she fell ill with BS19, adding, I thought that was the most decent and kind of him. All these medals worn by the Prince Philip. Do you think he... Oh, what happened there? Oh, lost it. Here we are. Do you think Philip ever set foot on a battlefield? And yet somehow he's got all these medals. Interesting thing about Lord Mount... I remember when Prince Harry, actually, when they were talking about him giving up his royal duties, apparently he had to give back all his medals, which if you serve in the army, you wouldn't think you would actually have to give back your medals. Hey, it's not like you win them. That's a good segue onto another subject we'll cover in a minute. Just finished reading this story. Whereas we are not obviously monarchists, we're Republicans. That's our political view. We have the utmost respect for that family and for who they are. Well, that's what they represent to British people and indeed to unionists and loyalists here. Well, as a British person, they hold no value to me whatsoever. Can't stand the family. I would gladly see them removed from whatever power they supposedly don't have. And interestingly, the conversations that you have when people like us meet, like the royal family, are not conversations around recriminations, and there's never a demand for apologies. The bomb planted on the fishing boat by Republican paramilitaries also killed Lady Doreen Brabourne, the 83-year-old mother-in-law of the Earl's daughter, his 14-year-old grandson Nicholas Knatchbull, and 15-year-old Paul Maxwell from Killiner. Would you really take an 83-year-old lady out onto a fishing boat? Who knows what the reality of this story is? I would hazard a guess. Things were getting a bit heated for Mountbatten, and a bit like, was it Robert Maxwell, back in the 80s, he wanted to go. He needed to get away. Just go to the chat. Some girls. I watched a documentary on this. Lord Mountbatten hired boys every summer and went out on his boat with them. Yep. No coincidence then that he ended up as the press report, and I'm very suspicious of anything the press report, they really blew up a boat, then yeah, no surprise that there were 2 teenage boys on there. Actually, I did read a really horrible story. I'm not sure if it's on here. Bear with me a second. I'm just going to blank my screen while I look for it. It's something to do with... Oh, bear with me. It was how the British government controlled the Irish, the Northern Ireland. I don't know. I'm looking for the story now. British government. UFOs in... I don't know if any of you guys have ever come across a channel. I think it's called... I don't know what it's called now. This is where I first heard about this story. No doubt they buried it now. But as it went, the British government would deliberately put people in positions of power who they could blackmail, and how they blackmailed them was a pretty horrible story, actually. What I would really like to do is find that story and you can see what I'm talking about. British government blackmailed Ireland. It's the sort of thing I should have organised before, of course. Right, where is it? It's the sort of thing that I know they admitted to doing it, but yeah, it's not the easiest thing to find a story about. Okay. Apologies, I'm going to have to look if anyone else is familiar with that story. Some girls really suspicious went on in the 70s in Ireland. Absolutely, I'm suspicious of what went on then and now. Johnny Roadstar, hi, greetings, welcome to the live stream. Thanks for joining again. We're currently, if you've only just joined, we're currently looking at the... I'm following up on last week's live stream where I looked at who the relation Louis Mountbatten had with Prince Philip, and it turns out he was his nephew. Unfortunately, I cannot find the story I was referring to, so I'm going to do one more search for it. As I hope everyone's aware, this is an open lines edition of the live stream where I invite you guys to come and join me on the live stream, say hello, talk about anything you want to. I will be sharing the link to that in a minute in the live chat. As I said earlier, some girls earlier on in the comments asked me about a particular video, a particular story she's been looking at. I was going to show your video. Alice Wild, greetings, welcome to the live stream. British okay, last chance. No, still haven't found it. But whatever it was pretty horrible. this. Okay. Now I'm sure I've come across a story where it said they did, but no sign of that at the moment. Johnny says, right, random games. Apparently Philip died a year ago. He did not just know. Random games, I wouldn't disagree with that at all. I did come to the conclusion that perhaps he could have been dead for a long time. I think it was one of the times he went to hospital. There was something about the story that made me think, oh, hang on, I may have found the story I'm after, but it's a bit of a long one. I didn't really want to maybe go into it quite as deep as this. Okay, some girls, you don't have to show the videos, hoping you could look at pictures and tell me what you think later on. Yep, we will certainly be looking at pictures of, it was someone Gringus, wasn't it? Let's see, Bryn Gringus. Actually, in the video you did put up, some girls, there were some pictures that I thought were quite compelling. How the truth, right. But yeah, we'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm not necessarily sure if this is the correct story I want to look at. So we'll come back to that one. Right, we'll look at Bryn Gringus then. And you guys can let me know what you think. Some girl says doesn't agree that this is basically a body double or the same person as. I'll come and share my screen a minute. Some girls doesn't believe this is Meghan Markle. So I'm curious to think what you guys think. To be honest, it's the sort of person I couldn't rule out. However, I've never heard him talk. That's usually a giveaway. Let's see what info we've got on Bryn, when she was born, etc. I'm sure she's got a Wikipedia page, hasn't she? Oh, the Instagram page might always be curious. Johnny, your battery's going. Gonna watch on TiVo on the telly. Be charged for next time. No problem, Johnny. Thanks for joining. Always appreciated. Yeah, some girls, in one of the videos you shared, in one of your videos, there was a picture of this person with her baby or child, and actually the child looked quite a lot like how what's that lad called, the royal baby. God, my memory goes to pot whenever I do one of these live streams. I think because I got a few things going on at once. Okay, nothing much on here. She's not a selfie poster, obviously. However, there's certainly some sort of familiarity. Random games. Gene Decode. Navy Marine officer stated that these people died in 2020. They were executed by the army. They obviously found a reason to announce Philip's death now. Interesting you mentioned that, actually, Random Games. I did come across a story that I thought was curious. Archie, yes, thanks, guys. Jackie Sharp, but who said it? Right. Bryn Gringus's baby is said to be Archie. Right. Let's find a picture of Bryn Gringus. Very strange name. Baby then. Gringus baby. Do we know when she gave birth to this baby? Right. Hang on. There. For me, it looks, well, it certainly looks older than it looks older than Archie. However, Bryn is about 150 to 160 pounds. Bryn is a WEL. Random Games said it was announced on Twitter today that Philip died a year ago. Again, I wouldn't doubt that. I have been suspicious. Right. I can see that. I mean, that looks too old to be. Archie's meant to be what? Bet he's not even 2 years old. Am I right in thinking that? Perhaps there's a younger one then. Okay, guys. Is that them? Nope, that's not them. Huh. Now, see, for me, saying this is that certainly doesn't look much like him. I'm still not convinced that Archie exists. Maybe he does. Maybe there is a real child. I'm 100% not. I'm 100% convinced that Megan never carried a child. Not possible. Right, let's have a look then at Megan and see how the two line up. For me, it's not something I can rule out. If I had GIMP installed, I could do an overlay. Right. That's not a very good picture, is it? Yeah, it's a shame there's nowhere. I mean, with Megan, for example, you can easily find out the height, I think. Ooh. Right. Meghan Markle's supposedly 5'7". Now, of course, this is meaningless. She's 39 years old. How about Bryn Gringus? 1982. That would make her. She was born in 1982, so she would be 39. Same age as Megan, who was born on the 4th of August. Bryn was born on the 12th of May. Okay, very close in age. I want to see Bryn talking, actually, without getting a copyright strike, of course. That would help. Right, do you think we can play a CNN? Okay, let's try this one. Bear with me, guys.
Not only are you running for a great cause, but you're also getting pumped up with everybody and running behind people that have on their t-shirts running in memory of. And so it just gives you motivation to keep running. There's so many people out here who have a purpose and a reason for running this race. Everybody was a little cold.
The audio's a bit quiet, to be fair. Apologies for that.
Like pumps up and excited together, staying warm. And then, of course, once you just start running and you move around Yankee Stadium, it's just the most exciting run. I love this run.
Gotta say, I cannot rule it out. Look at those ears. Obviously, they can change all this stuff with prosthetics. I'm not immediately convinced. Certainly has a flatter forehead than, or does she actually? This, I believe, is something that requires further investigation. I will have to have a proper look at this person. Did someone say in the chat that Megan and Bryn are supposedly friends? Yeah. Megan changed her height on Wikipedia to 5'6". Bryn is 5'7" and listed as 141. But you can see she's about 150 or more. I'm got to be honest with you, I'm not familiar with metric, is it? I use imperial 5 foot so and so. What did Angela Tate, Clown Reality, greetings, welcome to the live stream. You don't think Philip character is even dead? Creatures such that never check out. Make of that what you will. Yeah, I'm not sure. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, these people surely can't go on forever, though. If they are, supposing these are legitimate people. Oh, here's a quiz for us all then. Anyone wants a quiz night? Who's taller than Meghan? Prince Anne, the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth II, or Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex? I'm guessing it'll end up being B. While we're on to this, actually, I'm now going to share the link. If anyone would like to join in the live stream, you can easily go to tinyurl.com/bzlive1804. I'll also post the link in the live chat. Bear with me a second. Where are we? It may be worth letting me know in the comments that you're trying to join. Sorry guys, I'm just gonna have to clear my throat 1 second. Oh, where were we? Okay, we're back. So let's see, who do we think's taller out of these folk? Angela Tate, Clown Reality. The female royals only get tall when they shapeshift. Alice Wild says 5'5" max. Princess Anne. Some girls, you're welcome. I haven't actually come up with a conclusion yet. Some girls, you think Princess Anne's going to be taller. Do you know what? I think we always think of the Queen Mother as a little old lady. I bet she's probably taller than all of them. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and like I said, I wouldn't doubt for a second that they lie about heights on here. Did we ever find out Gringus's height? I can't remember. Sorry guys, I've probably gone over this already, but always worth a look. 5'7" and supposedly the same height as Meghan. Do we know where in America? Some girls. People always lie a bit about their height and weight. No doubt they do. Yeah, where's Meg? I don't actually know very much about Meghan at all, to be honest. She was. Bryn is listed as 5'7". Yeah, they both seem to be. Los Angeles. And where is? I mean, to be honest, if they were gonna try and pass two people off as one person off as two different people, then they probably would mix it up a little bit. Wellington, Connecticut. Anytime I hear of Connecticut, I always think of Sandy Hook for some reason, and I'm always very suspicious of anything I see or hear in Connecticut. I'm sure it's a real place. Never been there. Never been to America, unfortunately. Right, so some Michelle from Mars accept the anesthetist. Angela Tate says the Queen Mother's coffin was massive for such a supposed little critter. So I'm gonna say B then. I'm gonna go with. I know someone else did say it would be Princess Anne. Actually, she's very tall as well. To be fair, some girls. I'm gonna go with the Queen Mother. Who's taller than Meghan? Queen Elizabeth. What? Your answer? Yeah, the Queen Mother. She was only meant to be 5'2", but actually Prince Harry's 6'2". No chance. I doubt that very much. Some girl, Sandy Hook was. Yeah. I've seen some really good info on that. Actually, do you know? Up on my 153 News channel, I did put up a video which I mirrored from a person it was called Photo via Pop. Something to do with their father was a photographer in Scotland, and he was apparently the official photographer for the Dunblane for the newspapers and covered the Dunblane massacre. And this person made a great video about how I want some more quizzes now. She made some good videos about how Sandy Hook appeared to be based on Dunblane, which I wouldn't doubt for a second. Some girls, no way is Harry 6'2". William is listed as 6'2", and he's much taller than Harry. Yeah, exactly. They lie about these people massively. I doubt very much is true about them. And to be honest, am I right in thinking when you see Harry and Meghan together, Meghan's almost as tall? Some girls, we need to thank you for thinking of my channel, some girls. So far, I've you're absolutely right. I probably shouldn't talk too much about this stuff. I have had live streams taken down. Anyway, this is all we're all entitled to our opinions, of course. They don't seem to mind me talking about Harry and Meghan though. I am right. Let's see, picture them together. Okay, obvious right here. You can more or less see. Oh, they're sat in the back of the car there, aren't they? Yeah, maybe Meghan is a little on the. Maybe Harry is taller, but yeah, I don't believe he's 6'2". No chance. Yeah, it's funny when they're sat down, the height difference. I mean, here, for example, sat down, they look pretty much the same. Who knows? Perhaps they get Harry to wearing platform shoes. Alice Wilde, that's an interesting outlook. Another psyop. Yes, I'm unsure on that one. Obviously, the person who made these videos, they're convinced. Well, it depends what you mean by a psyop. If you mean completely staged, then I'm not sure on that one. I've never looked closely into it, but yeah, I think we're all agreed on the Sandy hoax. Very weird stuff, actually. Don't know if any of you ever had the pleasure to watch to hear the music they released in memory of the folks that were there. Crazy stuff. Okay, Meghan is quite short. She always looks massive to me whenever I see her. Yeah, I am always keen. I am always keen to find any new pictures of the child, Archie. Hello, Phobita. Welcome to the live stream. Fair enough. I don't disagree with your point of view on that one. I think one thing we could probably agree on, though, is that what the press reported about who the gunman was, you can't trust anything that the press say. Apparently, according to the official documents that were released, the gunman, what was his name? I was watching this video just the other night. The person that supposedly carried out the Dunblane was, in the official documents, had 2 gunshot wounds to his head, which is crazy. So, how do you shoot yourself twice in the head, eh? Hi, Phobita, by the way, congratulations on your successful quiz night last week. very close run thing between you guys. Fabita said, the guy tried to set up clubs at my mum's school. Interesting. Warnings were sent out. Alice Wild. Yeah, like I say, I've got a curious video on Dunblane, and which I didn't make myself. It was made by this YouTuber, Photo Via Pop. I don't know if they've got a video up anymore. Jackie Sharp, what's the odds that Andy Murray was at that school? He was, apparently. He is one of the survivors. We could look that up. I don't want to go too much into this, obviously. As some girl says, you can get strikes for saying the wrong thing very easily. By the way, Harry and Meghan there look very similar. What were we going to... Right. Andy Murray... Dunblane survivor. Let's see. What has Andy Murray said about the Dunblane massacre? The Scum newspaper. Oh, there's a video. Don't think we want to watch that. Right, March the 13th, 1996 will be forever known as one of the most tragic days in British history after gunman Thomas Hamilton shot dead 16 school children and their teacher. One person who actually lived that tragic day is tennis champ Andy Murray, who was a pupil at Dunblane Primary School when the massacre happened. In November 2019, Andy spoke about the Dunblane School massacre for the first time and revealed he knew evil killer Thomas Hamilton as a child. Both Andy and his brother Jamie were in the school when the massacre took place. They also knew the gunman Hamilton, sometimes sharing a car with the monster and attending his kids' clubs in their hometown of Dunblane. The rare comments come in a tearful recorded message which was featured in the documentary film about his recovery from injury called Murray Resurfacing. So to answer your question, Jackie Sharp, he was indeed at the school. Some girl, there is no kid, there is no pregnancy now. I think that is why she left the UK, because she was found out. Yeah, good point, some girls. I know you're referring now to going back to our Meghan. I do tend to hop back and forwards on different subjects. Apologies for that. I would just like to make it clear, if anyone particularly would like to pop in and say hello, I have pinned to the top of the live chat, I believe, my the address where you guys can... I meant to pin it anyway. Right. If anyone wants to pop in, Alice Wild, on that subject, by all accounts, from what I heard, he had a similar role to what Jimmy Savile was reported to have. I don't know how true that is. Phil Wright, greetings. Welcome to the live stream. I hope you're all... just a quick reminder, if anyone would like to join the live chat, like to join the live stream as a guest, pop on, just say hello, say whatever you would like. Just go to tinyurl.com/BZLive1804, which is today's day, 18th of the 4th. Some girls fun chat here. That is true. You are all welcome. Yes, right. I'm going to go off this very touchy subject of Dunblane and onto a slightly more lighthearted one. If you guys wish to continue talking about it, I mean, we're welcome to see... No, we don't want to watch that. I'm not going to go on to that. You guys, by all means, continue talking about the Dunblane and Sunnyhook, but I'm leaving it there as it was. Right, now I'm sure you're all familiar with some of the videos I've made. Okay, some girls, I'll just read your thing. I was looking for vids on YouTube on the Ninth Circle and other controversies concerning Philip last night, and 5 hours behind here. They've been scrubbed. The Ninth Circle, actually, that isn't something I am familiar with. By all means, some girls go on to click the link, share your audio but not your camera, and tell us about the Ninth Circle, because that isn't something I am familiar with, I'll be honest with you. Right, as I said, I've made plenty of videos talking about faked pregnancies. The first one that ever got me started on it was that about Harry and Meghan's doll, and then I came to the conclusion that tons of babies on Instagram were being faked by dolls, being faked using dolls and baby bumps. And Instagram was a massive platform for them to share their fakery. And as I said, I did not believe any of these celebrities are doing it by themselves. I think they've got whole production companies. Alice Wilde recommends trying BitChute for the Ninth Circle. Right. Carly Kloss has shared the first photograph of her son after giving birth last month. This here is Kylie Kloss. Yep. What sort of photo? Right, the American model welcomed her first child with husband Joshua Kushner, whom she married in 2018 on March the 11th. There's your 33. 11 times 3. Alice says, I don't want to know what the Ninth Circle is. Well, I would like to be the judge of that. If anyone wants to share info on it, that'd be great. Right, it says on Friday, Kloss posted a photograph with her son on Instagram. The photo is a close-up shot of Kloss's hand holding that of her baby. Now, this is a very common ingredient in the recipe for fake babies on Instagram. In the image, Kloss can be seen wearing a gold ring on her index finger that spells out the word mama. Kloss captioned the image with her son's name, Levi Joseph. Levi is a Jewish surname that translates to joining in Hebrew. Joseph, meanwhile, comes from the Hebrew word yasaf, which means to increase. No problem, some girls. That's a shame. I'd love to have you on the live stream to have a little chat and say hello, but if you're not available, that's fair enough. Right, apparently this picture from Instagram, like I said, they've done this picture thousands of times, hundreds of times. And for me, it's always a big hint that the pregnancy isn't as it seems. If we go on to Carly Floss, was it? Carly Kloss. We go on to her Instagram account. 6'2" giraffe. This person is 6'2". I bet she is. She, by the way. And one of these pictures, one of these videos actually that she puts up is a big giveaway. Yeah, no problem. Some girls, I totally understand. Where was it? This person walking the catwalk, was it? No, that wasn't it. Hang on, there was a video of this Carly Kloss, and it's so obvious. This is it. This person supposedly gave birth. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm sure we can all see just what that is. Okay. Right. Yeah, I'm pleased to say, actually, we've so far have so far I have gone. I think I've been going about 48 minutes, and I'm yet to mention. Well, I probably did mention BS19, but I did see a typical story, which we'll have a look at in a minute. Oh, but this one does have a right. Kloss. This is right, carrying on from the story about the shared picture. Fellow mother and model Ashley Graham. I think that's a wrote. I can't wait to meet you, Levi. Play dates are going to be fun. Other famous faces to offer their congratulatory comments include model Lily Aldridge, the celebrity stylist Carla Welch, and model Caroline Murphy. Hi, welcome back, some girls. Glad you could return. Phil Wright, 40 love. Jackie Sharp, a real baby will grab an adult's finger. It's a natural reflex. Yeah. Right. The couple tied the knot in 2018 in an intimate ceremony in upstate New York. Kloss wore a custom Dior gown for the ceremony that famously took more than 700 hours to create. Right. And here we are. They held a second, more lavish ceremony 8 months later with a party in Wyoming with famous attendees including Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry and journalist Derek Blasberg. Kloss and Kushner, who is the brother of Ivanka Trump's husband, Jared, have been together since 2012. Yeah, crazy world out there. Hi, brother Philip Wright. Hope you guys are well. Yeah, we also got word of a Victoria's Secret model. Yeah, right. I'm going to go on to from this story onto another one. What was it? Right. Talking along the lines of some girls, you believe Kushner is a POS. I couldn't disagree with you. I mean, I don't know a huge amount about him. I know his brother obviously is married into the Trump family. So I'm immediately a little suspicious on that front. No. Right, that wasn't the story I exactly wanted to look at straight away. Okay, this was the story I looked at about the Northern Ireland. But again, not what I was going to immediately look at. Vandalising history, how the truth about Ireland's arms crisis was corrupted by a gang of Northern Ireland paedophiles who apparently were put into power by the British government. A dissembling tale search, Private Eye magazine in London, some British intelligence, black propagandists, as well as end of. But yeah, that's not what I'm looking at.
Grammarly is your personal writing assistant for clear emails, confident messages.
It won't stop, sorry guys. This is a video I will probably play out with later tonight. Okay, typical what I like to call BS19 story. Double mutation, the Indian variant of 19 discovered in the UK. Just some of the wording, this is how they like to report their stories. Right, a virus variant with a double mutation has been detected in the UK after having first emerged in India. A total of, there's a number, 77 cases of the variant known as B1. Oh shit, sorry. Have to go back. Right. Oh, just seen for beta, they say a boy will never be smaller than the mother, in which case that story about the... Oh, I see what you're saying. You're referring to the Kushner being... Okay. Right, so apparently, going back to this story, a double mutation. Some of the words they used to report this. It was the first time PHE had reported the variant in the UK, and it's currently labelled as a variant under investigation. So they're still investigating. They don't know an awful lot about it. Probably not enough to start reporting stuff like they are. The B1617 variant was first identified in India and has since been found elsewhere, including California. Experts are said to be worried about the variant as it carries 2 mutations in the spike protein that may make it more able to evade the body's immune responses. It is also thought the variants may be able to infect the body more easily. Professor Paul Hunter said that the arrival of the Indian variant could be more problematic than the South African and Brazilian. These 2 escape mutations working together, what on earth, could be a lot more problematic than the South African and Brazilian variants. So I think they're kind of trying to say now that all these variants are teaming up with each other. And yeah, trying to double team us. We go on to hear about the horror that they seem to have been reporting in India. Right, it might even be less controlled by vaccine than the Brazilian and South American. However, more research is needed to explore the functions of these mutations and the effect they might have. So how can they be reporting stuff like this when it's all down to mights, maybes, could be's? Some girls, we now have TV commercials from drug companies for the Vaseline. I don't know if I've seen a video specifically for the Vaseline, but I've been seeing them for stay indoors, don't go out, pretend you got it. Right, it comes as India reported a record daily increase of 217,353 infections over the last 24 hours. Don't forget, this number is high, but do you know how many people are in India? Let's just look that up a second. Population of India. Won't they just... Okay, the population of India, just under 1.4 billion people in India. Oh, what in there? So 217,000 out of 1.4 billion isn't nearly as frightening. I mean, if it was a country like the United Kingdom with 67 million people, then yeah, 217,000 is a relatively high number, but right, Health Ministry data shows it was the 8th record daily increase in the last 9 days as the country continues to experience a devastating wave of the virus. At Lok Nayak J. Prakash Nair Hospital, that's a mouthful, one of India's largest COVID-only facilities, with more than 1,500 beds, unrelated patients are being forced to share beds. Get real. You're joking me. You're telling me in India you go in a hospital and you have to share a bed with another patient? Come on, get real. While bodies, and now here's typical, trying to make things, to read it sounds awful. While bodies of those who have died lie outside the ward before being taken to the mortuary. Well, isn't that what happens? What do they expect? Bodies lie in the corridors and then get taken to the mortuary. Same everywhere. But the way they write that makes it sound an awful lot worse than it, India has recorded nearly 14.3 million cases, second only to the United States, which has reported more than 31 million. India's death from 19 rose by 1,185 to reach a total of 174,000. Crazy stuff. But yeah, typical BS reporting. Guys, I am going to have to grab a drink. If you can spare me 2 seconds.
Not only are you running for great cause, but you're also getting pumped up with everybody and running behind people that have on their t-shirt.
Sorry about that. Just played a video. Right. Some girls. The PCR test originally designed for things like DNA testing at crime scenes, where that tiny little piece of DNA is amplified over and over, and then suddenly you're positive. Yeah, I have heard some. Yeah, the by all accounts, pretty common knowledge. The inventor of the PCR test has come out and said it was never designed to diagnose viruses, for example. Yeah, one of the videos I want to look at tonight. Actually, I've got a couple. Perhaps I could play one now. Jackie says, have you looked at Deagle population forecast? UK set to be 15 million by 25. No, I have not seen that. Of course, do we really know what the actual population is? It's a very tricky thing. Again, you have to trust official numbers. I have heard people say they don't believe, they don't always believe. Vax is depopulation. Okay, on that note, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. We're about halfway through. Is it 5 minutes? Yeah, I've got a video I want to play. I'm just going to close my screen down a sec. Yeah, this is The Truth. What was the name of the thing? Bear with me. Right, this video is called The Truth About Virus Isolation. It is on a person's video called Dr. Sam Bailey. Now, they look pretty mainstream to me. They've got 230,000 subscribers. They got a tick by their name. But they do share some interesting stuff. Right, how long has it gone for? Sorry guys, I'm going to have to... Oh, okay, this is a 14-minute video. I may not play the whole 14 minutes. See how it goes, but I'll certainly play 5 minutes and then probably share a link in the description. Yeah, the video we're going to play out with tonight, which will be about an hour. I generally go on for about 2 hours. Right, I'm going to leave a link to this video in the live chat. And if you want to watch the rest, you're welcome to. But like I said, I will be back in a couple of minutes, just 5 minutes. Jackie Sharp says Sam Bailey is one of the good guys. Glad to hear this. You may be familiar with this video. Right, guys, I'm going to be back in a second. I just need to... Right, sorry. Where are we? Okay. All right, I'm going to mute myself in a second and share a video once I've uploaded it. It probably will start playing straight away. Let it just load up.
Understood concepts of the current.
Right, and then, like I said, guys, about 5 minutes and I'll be back. And I would really appreciate if someone wants to call in, at least just to say hello. Say good evening, let us know what you're doing. Phil, right, the bullshit variant is the best one. Turn the news off and it vanished. You're absolutely correct. It is interesting how it does only seem to affect people who worry about it. Okay, I'm going to mute myself for 5 minutes and I will be back, okay?
Era seems to be that of virus isolation. Not a week goes by in which someone doesn't ask me to clarify what is going on, and I don't blame them because even the scientific literature is a mess. This video will look into some of the modern and historical aspects of the issue and why the terms isolation and isolate do not mean what many people think. The problem is when a virologist says we've isolated the virus, it implies a finality that needs no question. I'm not even sure if many virologists and scientists are aware of what they're doing anymore, and you're unlikely to hear any journalists call them up on the details. Although sometimes...
Well, you isolate a virus by
As a little introduction, we should quickly establish the definition of a virus. Essentially, it refers to a tiny infectious particle inside the purported SARS-CoV-2 PCR tests are supposed to react to RNA sequences specific to the virus. But before validating these tests for any use, it would need to be established that the RNA comes from inside the virus particle. That's because viruses only grow in cells, and cells already contain enormous amounts of genetic material. So first they have to be separated, otherwise you won't know what's in your mixture. That's where virus isolation comes in, and you might be in for a surprise as the language being used by the virologists is a little murky, to say the least. So firstly, the word isolated derives from the Latin word insulatus, meaning to be made into an island. Now let's consult the dictionary to see what these terms are usually understood.
Okay, sorry to say it's very choppy, the video, and not what we want. Perhaps a better way of me playing it would be, yeah, I'm going to remove it from here. Sorry about those people. Right, I think a better option would be just to bring it up in 1 second. Where are we? I'm not sure what was going on there. It was 1 minute it was playing fine, and then the audio was cutting out, and then it's jumping back and forth. There's a lot of good information in this video.
One of the most misunderstood.
Okay, right, now I'm going to I'll be back in a few minutes. Right, where are we? Okay, see you in a minute, guys. I will be back. Oh, that's typical, and now there's no audio for some reason. Oh, perhaps I'll just try playing the YouTube video. Maybe I need my audio on for it to work. Right, I'll try it again. Hang on. No, well, that's not going to work, is it? Okay, all I need is 2 minutes. Sorry, guys. Right, I'm going to try playing this one again then. Let's hope it'll work. Okay, back in a minute.
Today. So recently, many people got to experience viruses only grow in cells, and cells already contain enormous amounts of genetic material. So first they have to be separated, otherwise you won't know what's in your mixture. That's where virus isolation comes in, and you might be in for a surprise as the language being used by the virologists is a little murky to say the least. So firstly, the word isolated derives from the Latin word insulatus, meaning to be made into an island. Now let's consult the dictionary to see what these terms are usually understood to mean today. So recently, many people got to experience the first definition of isolation, although you may not have been officially called a prisoner. Anyway, isolation means the fact that something is separate and not connected to other things. So I think we could say that using this definition, we would expect that isolation of a microorganism or virus would mean that it has been separated from other biological material and we are left with just the object of interest. And if we look up the dictionary for isolate, we see that with regards to chemistry and bacteriology, the verb means to obtain a substance or microorganism in an uncombined or pure state. And with regards to the noun, it means a person, thing, or group that is set apart or isolated as for purposes of study. However, once you start searching for definitions of isolation with regards to viruses, you are unlikely to find such clear-cut terminology. In fact, some might say you are getting an introduction into a little secret of virology. And the year 2020 saw the issue become much more public as many more people became aware of the terms and techniques that virologists are using.
And it was working fine till you gang of snoopers came around.
I'm going to quote Vincent Racaniello, Earth's virology professor, a few times to illustrate some of the problems. Now, my opinions about fundamental principles of what are termed viruses and how they relate to disease differ sharply from Professor Racaniello, as he is part of the orthodox school, but I find him more internally consistent than many virologists. Despite the fundamental differences in belief, you could even say I have a soft spot for him, and if you want to learn about establishment virology theories, then he's worth checking out. However, as we're about to see, even the professor seems to start well, but then gets loose with the language when talking about viral isolates. So what does he say about the terminology in current use? Many people are thinking about viruses, and so they're using terms they may not be familiar with, like isolate, variant, and strain. Racaniello points out how most of the time in the field of virology, doctors and scientists simply parrot the terms that those who influence them are using, which may
Right, apologies for that. It was all a bit choppy, wasn't it? But a lot of interesting stuff in there. I have left a link in the live chat if anyone wants to catch it. And as I said, I'm inviting, I've got about, going to be carrying on for about another 45 minutes. I would very much like to speak to any of you guys who want to tune in. Just catch up on the live chat. I see people are mentioning the alien invasion. Phil Wright, couldn't agree more. Space is indeed a pure fantasy. Let's see. Right, I definitely had another. Right, now something Random Games mentioned earlier about certain people, for example, possible assassinations, people linked to abuse, for example. It was right. Why won't this thing go away? Okay, Oh, I did mean to say, I don't know if some girls are still with us. I hope you have a good road trip. You said you're about to go on a road trip or have fun. Right, Liam Scarlett, world-renowned choreographer, dies aged 35. A world-renowned British ballet choreographer has died shortly after Denmark's National Theatre cancelled a run of his shows over allegations of unacceptable behaviour. Here he is meeting Prince Charles, so of course it gets in the news. Right, the family of Liam Scarlett today announced his death as reports emerged that his upcoming production of Frankenstein has been acted by the Royal Danish Theatre. The news comes just 1 year after the 35-year-old left the Royal Ballet in Covent Garden after being cleared of sexual misconduct allegations made by its students over the course of 10 years. Scarlett's family said in a statement this morning, "It is with great sadness that we announce the tragic, untimely death of our beloved Liam. At this difficult time for all our family, we would ask that you respect our privacy to enable us to grieve our loss. The cause of death has not been disclosed. Death by firing squad, perhaps." Hi, some girls. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, just noticed that you said you're on a road trip. Hope you have a great time, all right? Right. His death comes just 1 day after the Royal Danish Ballet announced it was cancelling its production of Frankenstein due to be staged in 22. The company cited unacceptable behaviour from the choreographer towards several of the theatre's employees during rehearsals. Hang on. Theatre director Casper Holton said on Friday, "Offensive behaviour is unacceptable at the Royal Theatre, also from visiting artists. The well-being and safety of our employees is a high priority for us. We therefore do not wish to perform the works of the choreographer in question at this time, and Frankenstein in the spring of 22 has therefore been cancelled." Scarlett joined the Royal Ballet Company in 2006 and retired from dancing in 12 to focus on choreography. The artist in residence was suspended in August 2019 following claims that he behaved inappropriately and encouraged former pupils to send him naked photographs. He is investigated over claims of sexual misconduct involving students. And his position with the Royal Ballet ended last year when the Royal Opera House, home to the Royal Ballet Company, said that an independent investigation into Scarlett had been conducted. There were no matters to pursue in relation to the alleged contact with students at the Royal Ballet School. The allegation sent shockwaves through the ballet world, with Australia's Queensland Ballet among those to cut ties with Scarlett. Yeah, I just thought this is a interesting story about a person linked with, let's just say, misconduct. They don't go into any more. Well, they do. They say they were asking for naked pictures. Someone died very suddenly. Interesting. Okay.
Any consistency. He states,
no,
unfortunately.
Right. Okay, the fake space invasion appears to be something being covered. Now, would you say, though, in a way, you could almost say that CV-19 is almost an invasion from outer space? Didn't someone once say that it came from a space cloud, a dust cloud from outer space? I'm sure someone made that comment once. Let's see if I can find it. COVID came from space. I'm sure I've come across that. Strange. Of course, there's a very famous footage of what's the guy's name? Ronald Reagan saying how he was saying how it takes a common enemy and everyone puts their differences aside. Right, 1833, there's that number again. Leonid meteor shower lit up skies around the world, elevating the still developing field of meteor science and shocking the general population. This woodcut was later created based on accounts from the time. meteor showers. They're not an uncommon thing, whether we've ever had anything as big as that. I seem to remember back in when I was a kid, well, they call them meteor showers, who knows what they are, shooting stars. I guess you guys have all caught sight of one in your time. I'm going to remove that. Right, let's read this story. There are plenty of theories over the origins of SARS-CoV-2, the virus responsible for 19, from claims that the virus is a bioweapon to the idea that 5G transmissions are behind the pandemic. There's been no shortage of hard-to-believe ideas. Just out of interest, what do people think of the 5G transmission? It was certainly a big story at the beginning. They use DEW to start most of these wildfires around the world. Interesting, Phil. Right. But there's one 19 theory so remarkable that it makes the others look boring by comparison, the proposal that coronavirus came from space. In this post, I'll discuss this wonderfully strange idea and its equally strange history. I'm sure someone, I can't remember who it was now, but like a well-known doctor, I don't think it was Fauci, but someone like that, made the comment that it came from outer space. The space virus theory has been the work of a group of researchers, notably Edward J. Steele and N. Chandra Wickramasinghe. The group has published 10 papers on the topic since the pandemic began, but this paper from July the 14th offers the most detailed argument. By the way, I don't believe this for a second. It's just the sort of nonsense they put out. Steele et al. Suggests that 19 arrived on a meteor, which was spotted as a bright fireball over the city of Songjiang in East China on October the 11th. They proposed that the meteor might have been a fragile and loosely held carbonaceous meteorite carrying a cargo of trillions of virus, bacteria, and other primary source cells. So it didn't come from eating bats after all. The author admits that Songjiang meteor was spotted over 2,000 kilometers northwest of Wuhan, where the first cases of 19 were reported, but they deal with the discrepancy with the hypothesis that a different fragment of the meteor arrived in the Wuhan area. A much larger original meteoroid could have easily been fragmented and dispersed in its contents before the ignition of the fireball event. A reasonable assumption is that the fireball, which struck 2,000 kilometers north, may have been part of a wide tube of debris, the bulk of which was deposited in the stratosphere to fall over Wuhan. Needless to say, this is not a theory. Well, it's not a theory full stop. It's a hypothesis. This is not a theory of any evidence for it, well, in which case it isn't a theory. There's no evidence that viruses or bacteria or any other life exists in space, whatever space is, and still provide no direct evidence that the coronavirus came from the heavens. But it turns out that the theory of life and disease from space isn't new. The theory is called panspermia, and a handful of researchers, including Steele and Wickramasinghe, have been advocating it for decades. There we go. Panspermia is, broadly speaking, the idea that a life arrived on Earth from space and continues to do so. The notion goes all the way back to the ancient Greeks, but its modern form, it dates back to the 70s and the work of two astronomers, Fred Hoyle and Chandra Wickramasinghe. Hoyle was a renowned astronomer involved in many controversies over the course of his career. He is perhaps best known for coming up with the term Big Bang. If you ever wondered who came up with the term Big Bang, apparently it was this astronomer, Fred Hoyle. Although unlike the vast majority of his colleagues, he never accepted the validity of the Big Bang theory. Wickramasinghe was Hoyle's doctoral student. As they tell the story, Hoyle and Wickramasinghe conceived of panspermia while trying to explain the way in which interstellar dust absorbs light. They noticed that if the dust were composed of bacteria, this would produce the observed pattern of light absorption. Wow, what a load of nonsensical rubbish. Come on, guys, surely someone would like to join the live stream, share a few words. Anything's got to make more sense than this rubbish that I'm reading here. All you've got to do is go to tinyurl.com /BZLive1804. It will then ask you to share access to your computer. Will then ask you to share access to your camera and microphone. Once you're on there, set a name, switch your camera off, just share your audio, and then join. And then I'll see you on here. And then you can come and at least say hi, tell me I'm doing a great job, whatever. It would be really good to hear, to interact that little bit more. Right, just going back to the live stream. Jackie Sharp, COVID is just flu rebranded. I cannot disagree with that. Space between years, ain't nothing coming from fake space. Angela Tate, 100% agree. 5G, think of what happens when you microwave water, then realize your body is mostly water. Very true, but by all accounts, the term 5G is the actual frequencies being used isn't anything new, but it's just the idea that we would have transmitters like dotted along the pavements. Yeah, it is worrying, of course. And Jossie White, hello, welcome to the live stream. COVID is the cold that the pricks put aid and other stuff in, and it's world war on the world, and people that take the jab are beyond stupid but sadly brainwashed. Actually, we're going to be playing out tonight with a video about people and the effects they've had. And not that I want to scare anyone or put anyone off, but yeah, some of the effects that were reported on Facebook. And yeah, Jossie White, in New Zealand, people are getting the flu jab and then get the jab. Yeah, well, you can never have too much poison in you, I guess. But I am aware not everyone is of that frame of mind. Some people, well, I know plenty of people who think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Some girls. Jossie White is speaking about the XMRV virus. That isn't something I'm familiar with. Perhaps I will check it out. And I'm sorry to hear, again, some girls, sorry to hear about your mother. It sounds absolutely... Xenotropic murine leukemia virus. Related virus is a retrovirus which was first described in 2006 as an apparently novel human pathogen found in tissue samples from men with prostate cancer. Initial reports erroneously linked the virus to prostate cancer and later to chronic fatigue syndrome, leading to considerable interest in the scientific and patient communities. Here we go. Things erroneously reported. They do make mistakes. Leading to considerable interest from the scientific and patient communities investigating XMRV as a potential cause of multiple medical conditions and public health concerns about the safety of the donated blood supply. Okay, that is not something I was familiar with. Some girls, your mum and you are going to Bar Hop this summer. God, well, she is up for it. Bar Hop, that isn't something I'm familiar with, I don't think. Oh, bar hop. Sorry, I'm with you now. You're going to hop from one bar to the other. Why not? Right. Do we want to read this? Fake science. MXRV. COVID-19 and the toxic legacy of Judy Mikovits. One cannot spend up to 5 minutes on social media at the moment without finding a link to some conspiracy theory or other regarding the origins of SARS-CoV-2. One of the craziest conspiracy theories I've heard is that it came from eating bats. I mean, how ridiculous. The virus responsible for 19, from the virus being deliberately released as a bioweapon to pharmaceutical companies blocking the trials of natural remedies to boost their dangerous drugs and vaccines, the internet is rife with far-fetched rumors. And predictably, now that the first immunization trials have started, the anti-vaccine lobby has latched on to most of them. In the last week, the trailer for new bombshell documentary, Plandemic, has been doing the rounds, gaining notoriety for being repeatedly removed from YouTube and Facebook. We usually would not pay much heed to such things, but for retrovirologists like us, the name associated with these claims is unfortunately too familiar. Dr. Judy Mikovits. Basically, well, I don't know why I clicked on this. It sounds like Dr. Mikovits is someone that doesn't agree with the general, with the mainstream narrative. Jossie, I watched The Scientist and he had no beef with either side. He said they had stuck AIDS in one side and SARS in the other. Okay. Some girls. XMRV was discovered by Judy Mikovits, falsely stole her work on it. Fair enough. Right, May is the month. I'm not sure when this goes back to, this article. Looks like 2020 though. Okay. Right. Right, May is the month when we and colleagues in our close-knit family of retrovirus researchers usually descend on the Cold Spring Harbor laboratories on Long Island for a week of camaraderie and intense scientific discussion. It was at this meeting and others that the full scope of Judy Mikovits' fraud and malfeasance became clear to the research community. So clear that we came to expect, if not hope, that we would never have to hear her name again. Someone going against the mainstream, they can't possibly like things like this. Yet here she was popping up all over the right-wing news. It's got nothing to do with right-wing, in my opinion. Reeling off a story of how 19 was the result of an animal experimentation and developments of vaccines, and how vaccines themselves were contaminated with mouse retroviruses that were causing untold ills. Naturally, this information and her research in particular was being suppressed by Big Pharma and the corrupt mainstream scientists on their payroll, and the villain of the piece is none other than Dr. Anthony Fauci, the head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and long-suffering clinical advisor to Trump's 19 task force. The trouble with this conspiracy theory is that not only is it demonstrably untrue, much of it derives from scientific fraud that Mikovits and co-workers perpetrated in 2009. I would request these people demonstrate how it's untrue then before making such a claim. I know nothing about either side, but yeah, I would like them to. It's very easy to say something's true or untrue. Right, bear with me, guys. I just have to clear my throat. Oh, better go back here. Okay, where were we? Right, looking at the chat. Notice how fewer and fewer people have full-blown AIDS. She She helped clean up the contaminated blood supply. I spoke to my mum's doc on this, and he nearly hung the phone up on me. Okay, sounds like some interesting information, not something I'm aware of. I know a tiny little bit about HIV. I knew someone happened to be of African descent. They went to the doctor for some completely unrelated thing, and were told, and they took some blood tests for some reason, and were told that they were HIV positive. They were prescribed some ridiculously expensive medication, on the NHS. Apparently, I remember seeing the price tag on one of the bottles, and it was priced something like, I think it was £124 for a month's supply or something like that, maybe more. Over £100 for a month's supply of this medication that obviously gets charged to the NHS. And after a couple of months on this medication, they were told, you have no symptoms of HIV now. So as far as anyone's concerned, you basically haven't got it. Okay, Jossie White. I went to my doctor to ask about hydroxychloroquine for multiple sclerosis. My doctor got all political and said that's Trump's drug. I'm not interested, prick. Curious. Yeah, it's interesting how I always would have thought in the past a conspiracy theorist would have been like a stereotypical view that they would be left wing, not right wing. I don't know why all of a sudden it's considered a very left wing thing to be disbelieving of the mainstream media. Who knows? Right, am I going to read on about this book? I don't think I am. Guys, I'm into my last 25 minutes. I would like to show you, just for anyone thinking, oh, you know what, I'd like to pop on the live stream, say hello to Bobby and say hello to everyone else, but I'm a bit unsure how to do it. It is as easy as this, okay? Right, I'm going to, hopefully it won't mess things up too much. You go to tinyurl.com/ what was it? Oh, I should know it. BZ Live 1804. You will come to this page. Okay. You will then be asked to allow your microphone and camera access. Allow. Now, the first thing it will do, from here you can then stop cam. You don't need to keep that going. At this point, I can't see you, no one can see you. Write your name in. For example, you can even edit your avatar. Go down to enter broadcast studio, and that will take you into a little holding spot. And until you press enter studio, I don't see you. I won't show any cameras anyway, but if you do particularly want your camera on, and then you can mute yourself, you can leave at any time. And that is how you enter. If anyone would like to go to join the stream before I finish, I got about 20 minutes left, and then I'll play out. Right, looking at the live stream, my mother's doctor has her on $33,000 per month meds. The drug companies are pure evil. I will ask some girls, is that covered by insurance? I really hope it is. Alice Wild, vaccines contain things that trigger autoimmunity. No need for viruses to exist. Well, there you go. Yeah, I am always very suspicious when they say things like, just going back to the flu, they say things such as the flu mutates itself each year, but they always know what what strain is going to be prevalent. Therefore, they can put. Oh, what's this? Just shutting down some of my tabs because I believe that slows my computer down. Just trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to cover. Phil, right. Bird flu that didn't take off. I guess that's a bit of a pun there. I like it. It's funny. Big Pharma, Big Bastards. Completely agree, Michelle. Phil, right. They use Puppet Magic Johnson to push it. They've used so many celebrities. It's unreal. I'm guessing, I don't know, here in the UK, they put posters up everywhere. The most ridiculous poster. Act like you have it. That is the recommendation. They're so desperate for people to feel that they have some part in it. Where was it? They surely haven't taken it down. They're basically asking people to just pretend you got it, for goodness sakes. Right, some girls, it has been 5 months on the drug and I got her a grant to cover the cost from Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I'm working with a grant writer. I'm really sorry to hear that, some girls. That cannot be any fun whatsoever. I mean, I hope it's, I hope that the treatment's working. Yeah, you and your mother have my sympathy, but the fact you're planning on bar hopping this summer, it's got to be good news, hopefully. Wow. Yeah, that doesn't sound good, some girls. I'm really sorry to hear such a thing. Where is the Act Like You Have It campaign? Government launches virus ad campaign telling people to act like you've got it. I mean, where's the logic in that? Just hide away at home, don't go and see anyone. I've been saying it for years. I mean, there's some suggestion that we're kind of moving on from it now. We'll see, though. Phil Wright, left wing, right wing, all bollocks, just division, 100%. She's bopping around, but I need to clean her house. Okay. Right, should we... See, I would be curious, actually, if I play this to know and mute myself, whether you guys hear it. So bear with me, guys. I'm just going to play this ad, just a little experiment. Okay, mute myself. Okay, that is annoying. For some reason, it isn't playing. Jossie White, my youngest daughter's in London. Okay, that is annoying. Okay. I'm telling her all the time, don't take that. She's so far away, but she knows it's BS. How can a bug know that it's 10 o'clock and you go home? It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, of course, here in the UK, they've kind of given us a tiny bit of freedom back. Right. Okay, the next thing I want to do then is see, because, yeah, I'm hoping to play a video, but if it seems really choppy. Right, if I've got my audio going, what happens then?
Once more, we must all stay home. If it is essential to go out, remember, wash your hands, cover your face indoors, and keep your distance from others. Vaccines give clear hope for the future, but for now...
Yeah, that's not really going to work. Okay, I am starting to think about the video I'm going to play out on. Again, it's one of those videos that could get it comes from 153 News. I'm not going to play it yet. If anyone,
Grammarly helps you communicate smarter, one message at a time.
yeah, the video I'm going to play comes from the channel Scissor Fit. I will leave a link in the live chat before we go. Yeah, like I don't want to worry people, put people into a position where they're terrified of. Because to be honest, everyone I know that has had I say everyone, most people I know that have had the jab are fine so far that I know of. I did actually know someone that died of a heart attack, and I don't know whether he'd had it or not. I mean, that's unrelated. I know one person who, after taking it, like a few days later, they got tested positive. And the impression I got, because after isolating for a week, they then went and shielded at home for like 2 months or something. So I'm guessing they kept testing positive after taking their test, after having it. So who knows? But yeah, I don't want to worry people. It's just an interesting video. Maybe it isn't a great thing to play out on. I'm not sure. If anyone's got any other suggestions, what they would like us to play, yeah, always great to catch that. Right, not doing that story. Alice Wild just keeps hoping to wake up from this nightmare. Yeah, absolutely. Phil Wright compares it to living in the Twilight Zone. It does feel like that when you go out and see so many frightened people. I will say, actually, maybe it's the death of Philip. People seem to actually, around me, people seem to be lightening up a little bit. Some girls, you suggest I pull the video down. Okay. Michelle from Oz, you don't fancy watching it? Maybe not. Yeah, thanks for the suggestion, some girls. I might take it down. I don't know. I'll see. Well, I certainly take it down if no one wants to join the live stream and say hello. I mean, an open lines that no one rings in on. Kind of what you'd call a fail, I think. So, yeah, I'm in two minds whether I'm going to play that last video. I'm sure there's something better we could watch. I do like to have a little video ready for when I sign out, a warm down video, I call that. But what is there? But I don't want to spook people and even frighten it. I don't know. Fake FedEx shooting, that could be a good one. Of course, in the United States, Matty D for Truth, he used to be on YouTube. Jeffersonian girl does some really good work. I shared one of her videos last week. Okay, I would ideally like to have seen this video beforehand, but I guess we could watch it together. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, normally I've got a vid ready to play out on, but the one I did try that I was thinking of, Pfizer exec caught hoping virus never, and then you don't read the rest of it. But who knows what that one's about. We got one on, looks like Winston Churchill. Fake FedEx shooting. I'm quite interested to see this one. I can trust like Jeffersonian Girl. If she's put a video up, then I can be pretty sure it's good stuff. I don't know, are there any of you guys even... Crazy Hippo Lady, greetings, welcome to the live stream. Masks are now half price in B&M. Do you know what? B&M is one shop I always hope I get asked about why I haven't got a mask on. Because I remember they had a sign up, they were recalling one of their masks that they were selling for whatever reason. Apparently it claimed it was, what is it, N97 or something, and it wasn't. So if I ever go into a B&M, and well, I don't never wear a mask whichever shop I go in, but I've got something about going into B&M, being asked where my mask is and saying, well, I had one, but you guys recalled it, so I didn't bother buying another after that. Anyone know how much masks are, to be honest? I've like, perhaps if I download a 480p, yeah, perhaps. Yeah, wasn't there also a story about a 13-year-old black person in America that passed on? Pfizer execs are saying, Jossie says, Pfizer execs are saying you'll need more and more jabs. I don't want to be around jabbed people. No, exactly. They just continually, of course they're going to tell you need it. It's their business model, and convince people. It's like, I suppose it would be like when they first bought, well, when washing machines first launched, they convinced everyone, life will be better with a washing machine. Now, if they could get the government on board with that, saying, oh yeah, everyone needs to own at least 3 washing machines a year, and don't worry, the taxpayers are all going to pay for it for you, then yeah, what a great business model. It is shocking. Horrible stuff. I do notice after about 2 hours of yakking, my voice starts going a bit. And I tell you another thing. Yeah. So I'm going to start winding down. I'm disappointed, actually. I didn't get anyone joining the live stream to say hello, but fair enough. I understand. Not everyone wants to get on it, as it were. Right. Let me just move the video around. Shan't be a minute, people. Yeah, I do massively appreciate everyone that's come in and said hello, took part in the live chat. Yeah, it's really great to have such interaction with you guys. Really appreciated. Where's the video I just downloaded? Oh, that's the wrong one. Right, I'm just going to test this video to see how it plays and see whether it's really like choppy, going all over the place. So bear with me 1 second, like, I'm going to mute myself for a minute. What? Michelle from Oz, you have a cold and a sore throat. I'm very sorry to hear that. Hope you're better soon. Death died too, apparently. Phobeta. Yeah, totally agree, Phil. that person is evil that you mentioned. He looked really deranged, actually. Rest in peace, Flu, killed by COVID. Oh. Michelle from Oz, I wouldn't doubt that for a second. Right. I'm seeing how well this video plays on my end. I will be showing it soon. I've got it at a lower resolution. I love this person's music as well.
Didn't recognize the shooter, that he had a hoodie on. Did any of your friends recognize him?
Well, what's the ridiculous? Right. Who knows? Right, we will be attempting to watch that. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna start. Some girls, if they come for the guns, there will be war. Do you know, it's interesting you say that. We were talking about Dunblane earlier. One of the, I think the first thing they did after that was launch a armistice. Is that the right word? Armistice, where they asked people to hand over all their guns, and people, I mean, there isn't much of a gun culture in the UK, but people were handing over BB guns, air rifles, water pistols, and you would get pictures on the front page of the newspaper. Yeah, 2N Lit, greetings, welcome to the live stream, thanks for joining in. And it was an amnesty, what did I say, an armistice. Bye, Phil Wright, thanks ever so much for joining in. I'm glad you enjoyed the live stream. It would have been that little bit better if we'd had someone join the stream just to say hello. If anyone wants to join just to say goodbye, you've got about 5 minutes. Sorry to keep on, it would just be really nice to talk to someone. Right, some girl says, this is just part of the communist plan. I do carry a .38 special myself, non-automatic Ruger, I need it. Do you know, I don't actually understand what I'm guessing .38 is something to do with the size of the barrel. Who knows? I know absolutely nothing about guns. Out of interest, some girls, have you ever had to use it? I'd be curious to know if you don't mind sharing that information with us. If not, then fair enough. And yeah, how protected by law are you if you do use it? That's another question. But hey. Jossie White, don't know how to get that technical. It's super small and fits in a pocket. Fair enough. One thing I've never understood, now I'm sure this is just like in films, you see people and they get shot and you think, oh no, the main character's dead. Oh, it's all right, we were using blanks. Now, as far as I know, blanks can still kill you, can they not? Or is it rubber bullets? But again, capable of causing injury, surely. It's a bit like BB guns. I mean, if you fire a BB gun with enough power at the right spot, it's going to do you damage, isn't it? Maybe not necessarily any more damage than chucking a stone at someone. Jossie White, New Zealand is going full-blown communist Marxist here. Yeah, bye, Phil Wright. Take care. I will be back next week. I hope you can join in then. Come on, people. You've got 3 minutes. If anyone just wants to hop on the live chat, say hello, good evening. You would make my evening. It really would. I haven't done an open lines yet when no one's called in, but I suppose it's bound to happen at some point. Some girls, your dad was a former Marine and taught me to shoot. Fair enough. I'm guessing, yeah, I don't know if I could hunt an animal. I may have told you before, I'm a vegetarian. But I do always think if I was going to eat an animal, it would be one that I had hunted myself. I think I could at least live with that. It's the way animals are intensively farmed that I can't get my head around. I don't want to support I don't want to support a business that treats animals like they are just a product and don't have their own emotions. That makes me that isn't something I would like to get on board with. But fair enough, if everyone else enjoys their meat eating. I used to, for like a good 30 plus years, I was a meat eater. Although I remember as a kid, my uncle was a vegetarian and I was quite interested, and I think I copied him. I went veggie based on it. And then one day, I know my mum wasn't happy. She wanted me to eat meat, because I think I was quite a fussy eater as a kid. And she said, can't you just eat? And I agreed to eat a bacon sandwich, and I got the bacon caught in the back of my throat. And I thought, that's a sign, don't eat pork. Anyway, yeah, that's my story. But anyway, I went back to vegetarianism in my mid-30s, and I haven't looked back. I used to get quite bad, like, digesting food, bad stomach aches, but since stopping meat, it kind of, life is a bit easier, like digesting your food, let's say. Some girls, I really do not eat meat. For me, it was a very gradual thing. I cut out chicken. That was actually the first thing, basically based on how horrible the way chickens are intensively farmed. I think the next thing I cut out was probably pork, due to the teachings in the Bible about pork and it being an unclean animal. And then gradually I just cut all meat out, and I never looked back. I do sometimes, I don't know why, but if I walk past, like, say, not McDonald's, but a place like McDonald's, I get a craving maybe for beef or something, but I always hold firm, walk it off. Another friend of mine who's vegetarian said, oh, it means you're craving protein, get eating this, that, and the other. I can't remember what he recommended now, but yeah. Right. Okay, where are we going from here? Okay, I'm going to end the live stream. Alice Wild asks, how long have we been vegetarian? I would say I made the decision to, well, I didn't, like I said, it was very gradual. It was a gradual process, probably about, over the course of like 4 years, I went from cutting out chicken to cutting out all meat. And that was probably, I reckon it's been about 6 years since I've last eaten any actual meat, I believe. So, yeah, and I'm happy with it. I do recommend it. I mean, I'm personally I'm not looking to lose weight, but people that are, it's a good way of cutting. It's a good way of dropping down. Well, only because the only reason I say that is everyone told me, oh, you look like you've lost weight, and that tied in with me cutting out meat. So who knows? And another thing is, like, obviously you have to replace it. So I eat way more salad now than I ever used to. Yeah, I'd recommend it. Okay, right. We're going to play out this live stream. Oh, Jossie White, I've been awake to this for 25 years. Saw a video from Alex Jones on the Clintons. Fair enough. Not everyone has positive things to say on Alex Jones. And I remember once seeing Alex Jones was scheduled to appear on the BBC. He was gonna. I thought, oh, I've heard Alex Jones come up with some really good stuff. You know, it'd be interesting to see how the BBC, what the BBC say about all his information. He went on there and acted like a complete imbecile, just a complete embarrassment for anyone who questions the mainstream media. Here was like a guy that, well, okay, surely Alex Jones is gonna yeah, I think he mixes truth with lies. That's his problem. Yeah, perhaps that would be a good. All right, before we go, I will just, before I play the last video, I'm gonna play the thing. Alex Jones, what a complete. Right, hang on. I'll show his appearance on the BBC, and apparently I think he did the same thing in America as well. It's not to say everything he says is rubbish. He does no doubt come out with some interesting stuff. Alice Wilde, you gave up eating pork 20 years ago. Good for you. Oh, my computer's on a go slow. I think I've... oh, what comes up when I hit Alex Jones? TV presenter. Wrong one. Yeah, here it is. This was Alex Jones's chance to blow the lid on all the lies that go on in the media. I knew he was aware of stuff. And what does this idiot come out with? Right, hang on, I'll just share my screen. Oh. Right, I'm not sure what video this is actually, and I apologize if it's really quiet. Some girls, I agree with you on that one. A lot of people say he is, oh, what's that comedian called? Bill Hicks. And a lot of very interesting evidence to support the claim that Alex Jones and Bill Hicks are one and the same. Is this the video I'm after? I think it is. Sorry if the audio is bad, but yeah, you can hardly hear it, but what he's about to do he just turns into a raving lunatic. Unless this is a different video, I'm not sure. This actually looks... Oh yeah, Alex Jones explodes on the BBC over the Bilderberg Group meeting. Unfortunately, we can't hear what they're saying, but I remember it ended with this guy doing something, basically laughing at Alex and probably laughing at everyone that... There we go. Absolutely. And that is the problem with Alex Jones. He makes a mockery of... I mean, no doubt he's got a very good, interesting show and probably covers a lot of interesting stuff. But once it goes mainstream, that's when he turns into Bill Hicks. But yeah, he woke a lot of people up. It's just a shame that he's got he's a bit of a double-edged sword. Yeah, Phobeta, 90% truth, 10% pish. Some girls controlled opposition. Jossie White, he woke you up, fair enough. Yeah, he does no doubt share good information. All right. I will be I'm going to play out then on this video. Hopefully it won't be too choppy. I've actually been going over 2 hours now, so this video is about 14 minutes, I think. And first of all, I'm going to say a big thank you to everyone that joined in, particularly some girls, Jossie White, Alex Wild, Phobeta, bear with me, Phil Wright, 2N Lit, Michelle from Oz, Crazy Hippo Lady, Jackie Sharp. There is more. Phil Wright, Crazy Hippo, Jossie White, Jackie Sharp, some girls. So I'm just going through the list of people. Phil Wright, yep. Angela Tate Clown Reality popped up and said hello. We had Johnny, I got to think of his second name, he came in and said he had to watch on TV. So if you're still watching Johnny Roadster, thanks for popping in earlier until your battery died. I will, of course, be back next week. Anyone else? Alice Wild, I believe I've probably said you already. If I haven't, I apologize. Random Games was in earlier, talking about Witchcraft Worker. No more Katy Perry needs to quit abusing Orlando Bloom's name. It's like Biden, dead voters. I will say about Random Games, actually, I've just finished saying, if there's anyone I've missed, by all means, write a little comment at the bottom. I think that's pretty much everyone that popped in throughout the live stream. Thank you, a massive thank you to everyone that tuned in and said hello. Johnny Roadstar. I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I have, let me know. Some girls, your question about that Gringus lady and and Meghan Markle being one and the same. I'm keeping an open mind on it at the minute. I don't believe it's anything they're not capable of, but I will try and do something on them, okay? What I've done in the past is put the pictures in like a graphic image manipulation program and overlaid one face onto the other to see how close they are, closely they match. So I'll get back to you on that. 2N Lit. Thank you, Bobby. Can you go further on that Bryn MM comparison on another video? Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna look at it properly. I'm gonna do an overlay, and I'd be interested. So I don't know much about Gringus. Very unusual name. Random Games. You're still with us. Thank you. We'll have to have a chat one day and catch up. You shared a huge amount of good information with me on Twitter. Thank you for that. I am reading it. I am watching the stuff you share. That's a lot to take in. I want to digest it properly. But thank you for everything you share. Of course, you can catch me on Twitter. I will be back next week with another live stream. It may be a quiz night. One way or another, it will have some quiz in it. Right, I will put my Twitter account up. Bear with me. Right. I'll finally sign off in a minute and start watching the video. Right. Okay. My Twitter account is in the live chat. Some girls, if you are on there, then by all means give me a follow. Yeah, this is the sort of stuff I share. Is that my media? I don't remember sharing that. Perhaps I retweeted something. That's probably what it was. I don't remember what that was in reference to, but hey ho. Oh, here was a picture, just to say these, all these like things that you'd expect to see from the Blair Witch Project. Oh, not that one. Yeah, all these weird sort of. I wrote hanging on the gates of a local junior high school, pentagrams, dream catchers, etc. The usual witchcraft tools you'd expect pupils to be being taught. That's the sort of thing I put on Twitter. And most of the stuff probably is just me letting you know about my videos being uploaded. Oh, what have I done there? Actually, there is an interesting video I shared too about testing the test, where people, again, that would be an interesting video to share, maybe more appropriate than, and it's a bit shorter. Phobita, you've done a picture of a trophy. Is that in reference to you winning last week's competition? If so, huge congratulations once again. I am tempted to... No, we're not going to watch this. Maybe on next week's I'll end out with that. Right. Okay, I'm going to shut down all my tabs and hopefully it will mean my video will play a bit more smoothly. Yeah, once again, everyone, big thanks to everyone who's tuned in. I hope this video isn't too choppy. I can turn off that now. Yeah, have a wonderful week. I'll catch you next Sunday. I look forward to it. Here is a video. I was going to share a link to it, wasn't I? I've got to think where it was now. Oh, we're getting there. I've run over. I've gone nearly 15 minutes over. Okay, bear with me, guys. I will put the link to this video in the live chat. I really hope it plays all right and isn't too choppy. Maybe one thing that's slowing it down is having OBS open. So I'll shut that down. All right. I am now going to say goodnight. And I'll be back next week, guys. Enjoy this video by Jeffersonian Girl. I'll leave a link to her 153 account on the in the live chat. Some girls, things are only going to get worse. I don't know the context of that statement, but let's hope not. Right, take care, everyone. Good night.
Watch out for the snakes, yeah. Watch out for the. I seen all the signs. I seen all the signs. They've been telling lies. They've been telling lies. Watching how I move. Watching how I move. I've been keeping track now. Watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes, yeah.
I get off of my first shift because I was about to work a double shift, and I start hearing 2 gunshots, and I think it's a car muffler going out. I start hearing 3 shots, and I start thinking that it's an engine problem. Then I start hearing 6 shots at once.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
And I start hearing 2 gunshots, and I think it's a car muffler going out. I start hearing 3 shots, and I start thinking that it's an engine problem. Then I start hearing 6 shots at once. Then I start hearing 10 shots at once. So I am at a bench, and so I stand up and I take a look at the entrance door.
You serious?
Yeah, watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes. Yeah, watch out for the copying what I do every time. They want to take what's mine.
Then I start hearing 10 shots at once. So I am at a bench, and so I stand up and I take a look at the entrance door, and by the time I see the door, I see a man come out with a rifle in his hand, and he starts firing and he starts yelling stuff that I could not understand. What I ended up doing was ducking down to make sure he did not see me, because I thought he would see me and he would shoot me. By the time 10 seconds went by, my friend's mother came in with her car, told us to get in.
What I ended up doing was ducking down to make sure he did not see me, because I thought he would see me and he would shoot me. By the time 10 seconds went by, my friend's mother
and we escaped. So what I ended up doing after that was warning all of my coworkers and everyone that was showing up to just to give them warnings of the incident that just occurred, and for them to go home and be with their families.
By the time 10 seconds went by, my friend's mother came in with her car, told us to get in, and we escaped. Just to give them warnings of the incident that just occurred, and for them to go home and be with their families.
We're joined now by Levi Miller, who works at that FedEx building, who heard the first gunshots. We're joined now by Levi Miller, who works at that FedEx building, who heard the first gunshots. We're joined now by Levi Miller, who works at that FedEx building, who heard the first gunshots. We're joined now by Levi Miller, who works at that FedEx building, who heard the first gunshots. Levi, good morning to you. I know you were outside. Just first of all, how are you? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Very tired, but still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Very tired, but still here. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Very tired, but still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me.
Can you tell us and just walk us through what you saw, what you witnessed last night?
Well, I was working a normal day at FedEx, and I was planning on working another shift that night with my friends. And so it was 11 o'clock at night when this incident happened. It was very dark. I was eating some food with my friends and another friend of ours. This was when we heard 2 gunshots from inside the building, and I did not witness anyone enter.
And I start hearing 2 gunshots, and I think it's a car muffler going out. I start hearing 3 shots, and I start thinking that it's an engine problem. Then I start hearing 6 shots at once. Then I start hearing 10 shots at once. So I'm at a bench, and so I stand up and I take a look at the entrance door. And by
this was when we heard 2 gunshots from inside the building, and I did not witness anyone enter.
You serious?
I assumed it was a muzzle problem with a car, because
Do you realize how stupid you sound?
We were, I was outside of the building when this happened, and across from the building is the parking lot, and so I hear 3 shots after that, and I assume someone has an engine problem. This is when I hear 6 shots fired rapidly, and then I hear 10 shots. This is when I stand up, and I'm sitting on a bench, and so when I stand up, I see a man, a hooded figure. I was unable to see his face in detail. However, the man did have an AR in his hand, and he started shouting, and then he started firing at random directions, but at first it was at his right, and at random directions, but at first it was at his right. I thought he saw me, and so I immediately ducked for cover.
Levi, what was he? You said he was hooded and he was carrying this AR rifle. You said he was yelling. What was he yelling?
I could not describe what exactly he was yelling about. However, my friend at the time witnessed a man who was not a part of the incidents, but he also pulled out a gun from his trunk to try and engage the shooter, and he died because of it.
Wow. You said you didn't recognize the shooter, that he had a hoodie on. Did any of your friends recognize him? Is he somebody who'd been around that facility or worked there at some point?
From what I do know, one of my known coworkers there have told me that this is a well-known worker at this facility, and that from what I heard, the man shot himself when police arrived.
And you said, I just want to be perfectly clear here. Did you say he was known by your friends because he worked there?
Specifically my coworkers. I don't have too much information right now. But what I do know is that was someone who definitely worked at this building before.
And Levi, did your fellow coworkers there have any indication? Was there any talk of why this may have happened?
The only conclusion I can see is our boss. From what I heard as rumors, I don't know if it's true, but the man was specifically targeting our head manager. And our manager was not here that day at all. And so when he arrived, I assumed he caused mayhem. I assumed he caused mayhem.
His sandwich, and we heard two loud metal clangs at first, because they didn't sound like gunshots at first. They made, because there was a loud clang after the first two, and then my buddy Levi stood up as he was like kind of squatting at the bench, and then looked over and out into the parking lot. Didn't see anything yet. Then we heard 3 more shots, and then my buddy Levi saw someone running out of the building, and then more shots went off. Somebody went behind their car to the trunk and got another gun, and then I saw one body on the floor.
They wanna take what's mine. They busy faking and telling me lies. Now I watch out for the snakes. You been so focused on me.
You guys work here?
Yes.
All right, so just run me through what you guys saw, what happened here.
Well, I'm working from twilight shift, which is 5:30 to 10:30. By 10:30 comes around, I'm wanting to work another shift. And so I'm with my friend here, and by the time we sit down at the smoke lounge and we start eating, we hear 2 gunshots, and we think it's a car, a muffler, and then so we ignore it. We hear 3 shots after that. We start thinking it's an engine problem. Then we start hearing 6 to around 10 shots. This made me stand up and actually look at the entrance door, and I saw a man with a submachine gun of some sort, an automatic rifle, and he was firing at in the open. And I immediately ducked down and got scared, and my friend's mother, she came in and told us to get inside the car. And what we've been doing is currently just telling everyone who is our co-workers to not go to work today, and said no, that there was an incident that just happened.
And at the same time, when we were telling them that there was a shootout, they basically looked at us and chuckled like we were joking.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
And what we've been doing is currently just telling everyone who is our co-workers to not go to work today, and said no, that there was an incident that just happened.
And at the same time, when we were telling them that there was a shootout, they basically looked at us and chuckled like we were joking. I don't normally joke about things like that, and that just isn't okay.
Nobody but you, I just love my chick, and I go boop for nobody but you. My temperature rise, and then I go for her thighs, and then I say,
I don't normally joke about things like that, and that just isn't okay.
Did you guys see anyone get shot?
I didn't exactly see the person get shot, but after hearing the shootings, I did see a body on the floor behind a vehicle. And at that time, we thought...
Damn, I think you forgot about you. Feel like the goat, I'm surrounded by sheep. Damn, you've been busy watching me move. Paying no mind, staying online. If you've been wondering, I'm doing fine. Made 150 in a year, I'm only 22.
Did you guys see anyone get shot?
I didn't exactly see the person get shot, but after hearing the shootings, I did see a body on the floor behind a vehicle. And at that time, we thought...
So don't pay me your time. Back with the track and I've been moving up. I'm a bachelor, but you know I've been getting love. And I'm back, I'm a rap when my life getting tough. I'm a master of the craft and I never give it up. I put in time, I earned a shine, I worked it out. I made it mine and fell in line. And I came a long way, not the wrong way. Know that one day I'll be big as Kanye. I seen all the signs, I seen all the signs.
Forgot a few things, like our phones and personal items, because if that's left behind, that's findable. So
What in heaven's name are you talking about?
forgot a few things, like our phones and personal items, because if that's left behind, that's findable. So I did my best to make sure that all of our personal belongings were out of the scene and gone.
Do you realize how stupid you sound?
Luckily, I was far enough away to where he didn't notice me or see me. So thank God for that.
Anything else happen?
Well, the only other thing is seeing about 30 or so police cars
30
just
police
coming
cars,
in and out.
A few ambulances.
I actually haven't seen any left yet, just saw the 30 come in.
The only people that really did ignore our messages were the people that thought we're joking and people who have loved ones who were probably still in that building.
That was just insane.
In which building do you guys work in?
We work at the FedEx ground building on Maribel Road, just right over here on the Access building, right behind the Hilton Gardens. You can't really miss it. It's like right in front of the PepsiCo building, kind of sort of behind it.
Was it just one man with a shooting, or did you see
there was at least
two.
I'm almost positive that there was one guy trying to be a hero, went to the back of his car to get another gun, and obviously 9 out of 10, that doesn't go the way you think it does in real life.
Was it just one man with a shooting, or did you see
there was at least two. I'm almost positive that there was one guy trying to be a hero, went to the back of his car to get another gun, and obviously 9 out of 10, that doesn't go the way you think it does in real life.
There was at least, I'm almost positive that there was one guy trying to be a hero, went to the back of his car to get another gun, and obviously 9 out of 10, that doesn't go the way you think it does in real life.
Do you realize how stupid you sound?
I'm almost positive that there was one guy trying to be a hero, went to the back of his car to get another gun, and obviously 9 out of 10, that doesn't go the way you think it does in real life. Just remember that, everyone.
Alright, is there anything else you guys wanted to say?
That doesn't go the way you think it does in real life. Just remember that, everyone.
Alright, is there anything else you guys wanted to say?
Just remember that, everyone.
Alright, is there anything else you guys wanted to say?
That doesn't go the way you think it does in real life. Just remember that, everyone.
Alright, is there anything else you guys wanted to say?
They've been telling lies, they've been telling lies. Watching how I move, watching how I move. I've been keeping track now. Watch out for the snakes. Watch out for the snakes, yeah. Watch out for the snakes.